Show yourself, Jedi.
What's up, Brick fans, and welcome to this new making of series for Ahsoka on Corvus. This mock I actually did for the Brickmad Master Builder Challenge. Fortunately, I actually won that challenge, which I was really surprised by. This is one of my first mocks, and just amongst such really talented builders that kind of put entries in and things, so I was really chuffed to win that one. I will leave a link below to Brickmad's YouTube site just so that you guys can have a look and see some of the other cool mocks out there that were in that contest. But I wanted to basically do this making of series just to show everyone some of the techniques that I put in and just take everyone through my process of building it. It's going to be a 4-part series. We're going to start off today with the terrain and the trees and just go through that. Next week will be the wall and sort of the top area. Week after that will just be the making of the minifigures. And the final week will be the lighting and effects. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell so you get notified as soon as these videos come out. Jumping in here, guys, we are going to start off by looking at the terrain. Now, as you'll see, this mock is actually quite small. That's a little bit surprising to some people when they see it because they've seen the cinematic, and the way that I shot it, I tried to make it feel, you know, everything was sort of up shot and tried to make it feel as epic as possible for the fact that it was only meant to be a fit within a 32 by 32 stud plate. That was one of the stipulations of the contest. So that's actually what I did. And I still wanted to create a freeform though. And as you can see here, there's a very distinct sort of line that continues along here. So that the furthest points of all of these edges are actually fitting within a 32 by 32 bit plate. I just wanted the appeal of having a broken up edge. So that's what I've tried to create here. I've obviously done that with wedge plates, a mixture of slopes in there as well, and also just some rounding parts in there to make it feel a little bit more organic. I tried to get that in there as much as possible. I like to do that with my terrains, I guess. Build it with some nice angles in there and different levels, but then also add some sort of circular stuff in there as well, just to get some organic shapes. Dark bluish grey 1x1 rounds. Pretty much use those to signify rocks and little pebbles and stones and things. I like to try and create as much textural quality in the terrain as possible without sort of going kind of mental and making it look kind of weird. So that's why I like to pick this sort of gradient that I did here. It's predominantly black because it's a burnt forest, but then it does sort of work some of the dark brown. I love this dark brown color. I wish Lego did like more of it and less of the sort of reddish brown color. But the reddish brown is really good as an accent color, but I do like the dark browns through there. So I try to predominantly use that. And I think that works in well with the black as well. It's a nice transition point. Coming in here, obviously closer to the gate, you can see some of those kind of cobbled together stones that would make up a pathway. So that's pretty much what I did with the terrain. It's nothing too crazy or anything. It's just trying to pick that nice gradient and then some accent colors that come through it and just trying to create as organic a space as possible. Moving right along, here is the trees. Now, I've actually got a lot of people sort of comment on these trees. I've never done this technique before, but I think it actually turned out really well, especially for the burnt kind of trees that I was going for. Now, if you don't know, these are actually turned inside out. These are genuine Lego, but they are turned inside out tires. And you can see kind of in there, you can see the treads are actually on the inside. I flip them inside out like that so that they actually feel that like less like a tire and a bit more like just some textural trees. Now that is basically a flexi black rod that runs right through the middle of all of these. And then pretty much they're just dropped on top. I will be doing a tutorial on how to sort of put these together in a later video, but that's pretty much how I achieved that. There are a few cogs in there as well, and also just some 1x1 rounds. Then the branches are droid arms, mainly, which you can see in there, and bars. And then some of them are actually ninja swords, so they worked really well because they gave a nice point. And also, just to add the sort of little twigs at the top, minifig hands. So that worked out pretty well. As you can see in there, some cogs also. So that works pretty well. I did try to sort of replicate that as much as possible around, make them feel sort of really twiggy. But it is difficult because you only have a certain amount of small wheels, but you want to get a little bit of taper in there. But if you use two bigger ones, it kind of looks too much like a round thing. I mean, even that one there is quite sort of rounded at the bottom. And then kind of thins out a lot towards the top. So I had to sort of be careful. I wanted really spindly trees. So that's what I kind of was aiming for. There you go. But I think they turned out pretty well. And just adding some of these cones and things in there just to taper them off. Just to sort of tweak it up a little bit further, I did add in the handles, these cool little lever handles. And that kind of tried to signify some of the sort of burnt ground and did really well. Like if you have a low shot, you get nice cut through the silhouette sometimes when you get those little pieces like over here, say, which is quite good. So generally, guys, that is the terrain and what I did for Ahsoka on Corvus. Part 2 coming up next will be the wall. I'm going to go through just the general styling of the wall, plus the 2 angle pieces, how I did that, the door, and just the top section, and ding dong thing. I don't know, the thing that they hit with the thing, a drum up here, and this very iconic looking Ralph McQuarrie-esque roof. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That one's going to be coming out next week, and I look forward to it. And until next time, may the bricks be with you.